That late night, a small passenger van carried 5 people out of the city, heading toward a small riverside town. The driver, named Wang Tao, was in his early 30s and known around the village as a kind and good-hearted person. He was always seen as a dedicated driver, willing to help passengers whenever needed. But few knew that behind his gentle demeanor, Wang Tao carried a dark secret. The ride began smoothly. Everything seemed ordinary. Wang Tao drove carefully, occasionally chatting with the passengers, putting everyone at ease. But halfway through the journey, he suddenly turned onto a narrow, desolate road, lined with dense, shadowy trees. One passenger grew uneasy and asked why he hadn't taken the main road. The van drove deeper into the forest road, with no streetlights, no signs of life. The silence was so intense they could hear the wind whistling through the door cracks. Suddenly, the vehicle stopped, and Wang Tao explained there was a minor issue with the engine, asking everyone to step out and wait while he checked. The passengers slowly exited, standing by the roadside, nervously looking around. Suddenly, Wang Tao pulled out a large knife from his coat. With a cold look, he approached the nearest man and struck without warning. The man couldn't react in time and collapsed. Screams of horror pierced the still night, and the remaining passengers panicked, running into the darkness. But in the depths of the forest, there was no escape. One by one, Wang Tao pursued them, attacking each mercilessly. After the crimes, Wang Tao dragged the bodies deeper into the forest, dug a large pit, and buried them all. He then returned to the van, calmly driving back to the village, as if nothing had happened. Days later, when the victims hadn't returned, their families alerted the police. The investigation team began tracing the victims' journey. After reviewing traffic camera footage, the police discovered that Wang Tao's van had veered onto the forest road on the night the victims disappeared. Suspicion mounted, and Wang Tao was called in for questioning. Initially, Wang Tao maintained a calm demeanor, denying any involvement, claiming he had dropped the passengers off safely. But as police inspected the van closely, they found traces of blood, as well as fabric scraps on the seats and floor. Faced with undeniable evidence, Wang Tao lowered his head and confessed. Through his confession, the police found the pit in the forest where the victims were buried, where he had attempted to cover up his crimes. Wang Tao admitted that his motives stemmed from years of psychological repression and pent-up anger. That night, in the darkness, he lost control and turned his dark thoughts into reality.